Very well, welcome back. We're live to the world. It's Win Games 2018. Domi, what we got going on next?
So, today, Friday, we're going to have the knockout rounds, and that's what I was trying to explain to you a little bit earlier. So we have one speed round and one free routine to music. The score will be accumulated. The winner of each knockout goes to the next group, and the two winners of knockout number 4 goes to quarterfinal. And then we'll have round 6. That's going to be the position for the battles. This is also a speed round and one free round to music, and that's going to be with the top 8 teams to know who's going to battle who in the next day. So here you can see on your screen a little bit more clearly how everything's going to go. So yesterday we had the qualifiers, right, which was 3 speed rounds and 1 free routine.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we had a final ranking from 1 to 19 with everyone. We're going to divide those teams in 4 groups. Group 6 is going to be the bottom 4 teams of the 19 of yesterday. They're going to battle it up for a speed round and a free round to music, and their cumulative scores is going to give a ranking within those 4 teams. The top one of those 4 is going to get to go up to Group 5. So now, Group 5 is going to be the winner of Group 6 plus the 3 next up in the ranking of yesterday. Same principle, speed round, free round, cumulative scores. The top of this Group 5 is going to move up to Group 4. We repeat this until Group 3. And then for Group 3, the top 2 teams are going to get to the quarterfinal for Friday. Those 8 teams are divided in 2 groups. The top 4 of yesterday, the number 5 and 6 of yesterday, plus the 2 that are going to get the bye today.
Yeah.
And within those 2 groups, battling it up also to have a ranking. And that's how we determine who's meeting who in the quarterfinal on Saturday. And basically, we're doing this so the top teams don't meet each other too early. Number 1 will meet number 8 and on.
Okay, so we'll keep refreshing that information to people and letting you know how that all works. It's a great system we've got there. I like nice graphics that we've got there. It really looks nice.
Yeah, it's really good that we get to show you exactly how it's works. I know it can be a little bit complicated to wrap your head around it when it's a new format, when you've never seen it before. I know some of the competitors were slightly confused. I know for a fact, as somebody who's been organizing those competitions, and when we created this, we kept changing the format almost from one competition to the next, because we were experimenting something new every time. So you as an organizer, you spend a lot of time and brain effort to come up with something. So at the end, when you have something, it's very clear to you, but it turns out it's not always very clear to other people. I remember presenting a format and people, nodding at me, and then a couple hours later being like, what are we doing again? So it's really good that we have those nice the graphics for you guys on the screen. They're also available on the Win Games website and on Facebook on the Win Games 2018. So if you're unsure about what we just said, don't hesitate to go take a look at it. It's all out there for you, easy to read anytime.
And the whole idea is that you get the right teams battling the right teams.
Yes, basically the tournament is a very interesting format, but you don't want to have top teams battling on too early, otherwise they're going to knock each other out and you're going to end up with a final result, especially a final ranking that doesn't really represent the overall level of flying from everybody. So by experimenting with those different formats is what we're trying to achieve here.
Well, we're starting off with Team 704, Team Last Minute. Their speed round. Don't forget, we need the clock on the screen for the time, so we want to make sure we get that timer on the screen for you. Here we go.
So they're going for their little bit of a wobble here. Okay. So that was a head down mixed snake into a half barrel roll. Into some head-up circles. So that's the first row. Sideline here. Getting into their second page, the head-down mix snake. Into the half barrel roll. Got stuck a little bit on the back here with pulling it off. I assume that was a ring bust. Into the head-up circle. All right, so one more page to go. And this is Team Last Minute. We mentioned them yesterday. They were not supposed to be a team. They're both part of two different teams. But for diverse reasons, were not able to compete with their original team. So they decided to join, to team up last minute. And had just a few minutes of training and throw themselves into the win games, which is pretty brave. And they're doing really good here.
Yeah, they had 10 minutes training before the start of yesterday's competition together here.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot. Nice one. Jérémy Saint-Jean from Los Gringos and Romain from the Smash Patatas.
We did a video shout out for the Smash Potatoes yesterday,
Yes,
didn't we?
the Smash Patatas. If you're looking at us, we want to see you next year, the Win
yes.
Games 2019.
So final score there with the 5-second penalties, 4 of them added on, is 122.477.
Oh, and we have Jeffro Provenzano saying hi.
Hello, Jeffro.
Jeffro is going to be competing who's competing in Dynamic 4-Way with Team RB2, the Roan brothers and Amy Chemelecki.
He was one of the first freestyle canopy pilots that I saw here, actually in Ampura Brava, on the Delta Muga in 2004 with the King of Swip competition. Remember that, Jeffro? Brilliant. As the sun was setting, can't forget. Yahunis are next.
The Junies with Ian and Carlotta.
And Ian was actually part of the production crew last year. Here he is now competing.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how a lot of us just keep switching roles, right? From competing to organizing to doing whatever it takes to be part of those events and keep pushing the sports. I think that's what makes it special.
I think he was doing the audio last year. Or the Vision mix. I'll check. Here we go.
All right, in they are for a head down. Ooh, starting off with a sideline bust. Into, that's going to be a bust here as well. She was supposed to go on her belly. Yes, she's doing it now, but she's going to be pretty late. If her teammate doesn't wait for her, they might get another synchronization bust. The synchronization bust, again, as a reminder, it's when one flies 2 plan ahead of his teammate. So we implemented that rule to make sure that flyer number 1 would not go so fast that it would become almost impossible to figure out which move they were doing. So flyers really want to try to stay together as much as possible. Into the half barrel roll, doing good this time. Head up, in face circles. All right, back on their head for the final page. Head down mixed snake. So they go from their head to their feet now, back on their head, going halfway across the tunnel and into the barrel roll. Remember, they have a mandatory rotation, sense of rotation. They need to turn towards the blue light. If they fail to do so, it is also a 5-second penalty.
122.4 to beat. 20 seconds to be added.
All right, and they're out. 1:13.344. It is a better score than the team just before, potentially. That is putting them in a good position to move up. As a reminder, we're going to see 4 teams now. They're all going to do speed rounds, then they will all do a free rounds. We're going to accumulate those scores from the speed and the free. The top out of those 4 is going to move up to the next group, to the next level. So one of those teams still stand a chance to get on the quarterfinal. Up next, we have the Airspace Prospects 2 with Howard Flat and Giorgio Garguglio. Howard, for those of you who don't know, I mean, who doesn't know Howard, is one of the founding father of the dynamic discipline. Him and Alex Emar, back in 2012, with the support of Boris Nebe in Bottrop, had some time, put a lot of time and effort into developing, creating, brainstorming, trying this new discipline and formalizing it. Because people were flying this kind of dynamic lines for a while before. They're not the one or the only one who were flying that style, but they're the first one who tried to organize it as a competition with the main 2 elements of live judging and head-to-head battles, which was completely new in the world of competition because everything from the skydiving world was not live judging. The judges would judge from a video, and also it's not really practical to do battle in the skydiving format, but you really can do that in the tunnel. And those two elements have been fundamental to the development of dynamic flying, and we're still using them to this date. Half barrel roll. Ooh, very close to that ring, but cleaning it. Back on their feet for the head up in-face circles. So you see here, they're going way above the ring on this move, but they don't really need to do so. And that's one of the differences you see between a very trained team and team who are more beginner. The only time you'll see a very trained team go above that ring is when it matters, which is only on the vertical, so only 3 times during a routine, like right now when they are doing the barrel roll. Any other time, like now, it doesn't apply. So if you go really high, your trajectory is longer, you're wasting a little bit of time. So if you want to have a quick time, you want to make it shorter and stay low in the tunnel. All right, getting into their final page on this head down mixed snake. Gagging into the vertical, so that is when the ring applies, going under the ring, over the ring, and back under the ring. Now once they clear that sideline, they're done. They don't need to clear the ring anymore. Around in the final mixer, the head down, the head up in face circles, back on their head, across the tunnel, and out. All right, and that's a total of 123.405, which is currently the 3rd position overall. So far, the Junies are up in the lead to move up to the next group. And next up we have Aerogravity Fast Web with Matteo Pezzettini and Matteo Conti from Italy. I really like those guys. All right, the judges are getting set up. Smile, relaxed, focus before they have to go in there and fly that round. They know there's a lot of stakes here, huh? Like one team and one team only is going to be able to move up to the next group. All right, high five, visor down. The lights are white, and in they are. Time to beat, 1:13.344. Already one bust for the boys. So far, none of the team had a clean round. So if they can keep this to a minimum bust level, then they stand a good chance to taking the speed round. Looking good on those head-up circle. Back on their head for the beginning of the 2nd page. As a reminder, a compulsory move like a speed round is actually a race in 3 dimensions where 3 moves are randomly drawn before the competition, and they have to repeat those 3 moves in a specific order 3 times. Every series of 3 moves is called a page, and a speed round is comprised of 3 pages. The time starts when the first flyer crosses the laser beam out the door, and it finishes when the second flyer crosses it again. And that time is added potential bust, 5 seconds per penalty, and that total score is what gives the result of the team. Now just have to go for the compulsory exit, crossing that sideline, flying out the door, and that's a total score of 1:24.57. So the speed round has in the lead for now the juniors with a total of 1:13.344, but now it's not over. They're all gonna come in and fly their free round, gonna get a score, and this score is cumulated with the speed round is gonna give them the ranking for that pool.
So how will that score be accumulated?
So basically the fastest round, which is now
It is 1:13.
1:13.344 is gonna be equivalent of 100, and with I'm not sure how you call that in English, this type of calculation, but basically every of the score is gonna be given an equivalent out of 100 based on the difference there is from this 1:13.344 score, and then kind of same principle for the free round. They're each gonna get a score. The top score is gonna get the equivalent of 100, and then depending on the difference between those other scores, they're gonna give the appropriate out of 100 score, and those two scores on 100 are gonna be put together, and that's what's gonna determine the ranking out of those 4 teams.
So all 4 teams are about to fly again, this time with music, and it's the free round of the competition. Domi, what do you think about these free rounds? We've not seen any of them yet, have we? Have we seen the free rounds with
Yeah,
music?
we've seen all the free rounds yesterday. Every team flew 3 speed rounds and
Yes.
1 free round with
That's
music,
right,
so we've seen them all at least once.
Yeah.
But now, because they're ranked based of yesterday, we're gonna see in the pools teams that are of more similar type of experience. So it's gonna make it interesting because the difference are not gonna be too huge.
All right, so we'll be back with those free rounds very shortly. At the moment, we're just waiting for that action to continue. We'll be back here in the studio in a few moments with the free rounds.